This is the QTV Nightly News coming to you from our studio on Caraba Avenue, and I am Andy Kerma. Thanks for joining us. Here are our top stories. The Ministers of Foreign Affairs, Finance and Economic Affairs, Defense, Transport, Works and Infrastructure, and Youth and Sports faced questioning at the National Assembly on Wednesday. It included a response regarding the purchase of vehicles for this year's OIC summit. Following an audience with President Barrow at the State House, renowned Islamic scholar Mufti Menk says he continues to be impressed by the Gambia's peaceful nature and the infrastructural development since his last visit 6 years ago. The Minister of Defense, together with the Trade and Youth and Sports Ministers on Tuesday, filed motions for consideration before lawmakers at the National Assembly in Banjul. The Commissioner General Yankuba Dabo on Wednesday called on tax administrations in West Africa to invest more in enhancing the capacity of human resource managers in customs departments. In international news, this week marked the first anniversary of the Alliance of Sahel States, or AES, a regional bloc uniting the junta-led countries of Burkina Faso, Mali and Niger. We look at the alliance's achievements and future plans. Those were the headlines. Now we look at the stories in detail. If you're just tuning in, this is QTV News. The Ministers of Foreign Affairs, Finance and Economic Affairs, Defense, Transport, Works and Infrastructure, and Youth and Sports faced questioning at the National Assembly on Wednesday as parliamentarians scrutinized their ministry's activities. This included questions about the purchase of the vehicles for the OIC summit. Lena E. Gwenyiba reports.
During the third ordinary session of the 2024 legislative year, CDKM Keta, the Minister of Finance and Economic Affairs, responded to Honorable Samba Jallo, the member for Nyamina Dankunku, who saw details of the procurement process for the purchase of allegedly 100 vehicles for the OIC summit in 2024, the selection criteria, and the intended post-summit use of the vehicles.
The actual number of vehicles purchased were 89, not 100. So that's a point of correction. Instead of an open tender, because of the time pressure, we decided to enter into a restricted tender which was approved by GPPA. Bids were received from Saben A. Madi, TK Motors, Espas Motors, Quantum Net, Asata Motors, Lanza Motors, and Cornerstones. The bids were evaluated based on price and technical specification and scored by a committee. Espas Motors, that's Quantum Net, won the first lot, while TK Motors won the second lot. At the end, the concession sought by TK Motors could not be agreed upon, and as a result, Lot 2 was awarded to Espas Motors. Please note that the usage and allocation of the vehicles post-OIC is with the government controller, who is in charge of vehicle management.
Following this, Saini Jawara, the member of Lower Salum, queried the minister on the source of funding for the vehicles.
We went to ECOWAS Bank for Investment and Development in West Africa, EBID, and they approved a loan financing of $15 million to finance this transaction. Unfortunately, their financing terms are not concessionary. That means the interest is not a concessional term. We could not use that. So we had to ask the supplier to pre-finance these vehicles. As we speak, we have not even paid more than 20% of the value of these vehicles yet. So the supplier has pre-financed these vehicles. And at the time of the summit, $0 or dollar was paid to the supplier.
Yaya Menteng Sanyang, member for Lashikunda Sabiji, sought answers from Mamadou Tangara, the Minister for Foreign Affairs, regarding the development of a code of conduct for ambassadors, citing performance concerns at various embassies.
The ministry, where it is confirmed that a diplomat behaves dismally against existing rules and regulations, takes strong and swift punitive measures against the concerned person, as evidenced by the recent incidents. The untoward actions of a few members of the Foreign Service are not the full depiction of the behaviors typical of most of the members of our foreign service.
The session continued with questions for oral answers directed at the Ministers of Defense, Transport, Works and Infrastructure, and Youth and Sports, particularly on deadlines for ongoing projects, including road construction for Choya in Nyamina West to the Kulanya and Kungbiran crossing points. Reporting for QTV News, I am Lena Igwanyiba.
Following an audience with President Barrow at State House, renowned Islamic scholar Mufti Menk says he continues to be impressed by the Gambia's peaceful nature and is impressed by the infrastructural development since his last visit 6 years ago. Mamudu Gajaga reports.
Mufti Menk is an Islamic scholar recognized for his preaching and lectures, which are widely said around the world. He is in the Gambia on a private visit as the global ambassador of a charity. He briefed President Barrow on the charity work of Abdullah Aid and its impact in the Gambia and addressed the press after meeting the president.
I am here on a private visit in order to supervise and look over the activities of Abdullah Aid, of which I am the global ambassador. And mashallah, the work has progressed so much. We met with His Excellency the President in order to inform him of the progress of Abdullah Aid. We've managed to assist with water projects, more than 600 water projects, water wells and boreholes, more than 300 shelters over the last 6 years, and medical surgeries and treatments for hundreds of Gambians. We've sponsored and continue to sponsor for the education of more than 200 children, looking at increasing that number, inshallah.
The renowned scholar also talks about the peaceful nature of the Gambia, which for him is a sign of progress. He thanked the government for creating the enabling environment for development to take place.
And we thank Allah for the able government that has facilitated so much of goodness and really is interested in the growth of this nation. Again, what was highlighted also is peace is the cornerstone of development. Whenever a nation would like to grow, they need peace. And whenever they have peace, they will grow. So one of the pointers that was raised was the issue of ensuring peace and stability, harmony, a good understanding amongst the citizens, and the ability to work together even if we have a few differences.
The renowned scholar also spoke of one of the most notable changes in the 6 years since his last visit.
One thing that I definitely noticed as soon as I landed in this country is the development. The roads have actually totally transformed the nation, a lot of growth, myself visiting after approximately 6 to 7 years.
Mufti Menk was last in the Gambia in November 2018 to give a lecture at the Independence Stadium on the topic Respecting Our Differences, at an event that was attended by thousands of people. During this visit, Mufti Menk will be visiting project works of Abdullah Aid in parts of provincial Gambia, which include schools, wells, boreholes, and orphanages, amongst other projects. Mamudu Gajaga, QTV News.
The Minister of Defense, together with the Freed and Youth and Sports Ministers on Tuesday, filed motions for consideration before lawmakers at the National Assembly in Banjul. Osman Jada filed this report.
Assembly is experiencing a busy week as more ministers appear to submit proposals for consideration and approval. Vice President Mohamed B.S. Jallow filed a motion for Parliament to consider the deployment of Gambian troops to the ECOWAS stabilization mission in Sierra Leone.
By deploying our gallant Gambian troops trained in peacekeeping operations and equipped with skills to restore order and protect the democratic aspirations of our fellow West African brothers and sisters, we can contribute to the restoration of stability and the protection of constitutional values in Sierra Leone.
The minority leader and representative for Brikama North, Honorable Alaji S. Dabo, and Seni Jawara, the assembly member for Lower Salem constituency, respectively responded to the Vice President's submission.
Everybody is seeing the truth and the reality on the ground. There's nobody here who will say our armed forces will go for peacekeeping. Generally, comparisons surrounding deployment of ECOWAS troops, being Gambia, Sierra Leone, Mauritania, whatever, is in line.
However, Assembly members, including Modu Lamin Ba, the NAM for Banjul North, and nominated member Keba Lang Fofana, reacted to what they term as an abuse of powers by the Deputy Speaker Honorable C.D. Eskenjai, depriving members from actively debating the Vice President's motion.
If the submissions were objective, so many submissions are set here, which are even against the government. But if they are objective and progressive, you allow it to go.
We are all equal as far as this is the main bantaba for this country. And we have to be very serious.
Acting Speaker C.D. Eskenjai clarifies.
We may not want to use most of the powers that are vested on us.
The Trade and Employment Minister, Babakar Ojuv, was next to submit a proposal for consideration on the provision of manpower agreement between the government of the Gambia and the United Arab Emirates.
Having a bilateral labor agreement with the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia will therefore facilitate a pathway for Gambian workers to legally stay and engage in works in the kingdom in a manner that realizes the interests of both countries.
While some NAMs applaud the Trade Minister, some, including Seni Jawara for Lower Salom and nominated member Keba Lang Fofana, asked the Trade Minister to explain the content of the proposed agreement. Minister Youth elaborates.
Interested Gambians with requisite skills shall be recruited from the Gambia through the public employment services of the Department of Labor, as well as registered and licensed private recruitment employment agencies.
The country's Youth and Sports Minister, Bakari Waibaje, submitted a motion for the Assembly to consider the agreement between the Gambia and the Wafu Zone A for the West Africa Football Union to establish its headquarters in the Gambia.
Such headquarters serve as the center for all football relating to coordination and organization of football.
The approval and ratification of these three agreements seeks to enhance and boost the employment rate, promote sports within the Gambia and the sub-region, thus promote sustainable development. Osman Chata, reporting for QTV News.
We will now go for a commercial break. When we return, we have more local and international news stories. Do stay tuned.
Ready to jumpstart your tech career? At IIHT Gambia Limited, we offer a variety of in-demand courses to equip you with essential skills for the tech industry. Our programs include Diploma in Information Technology and Cybersecurity, Cisco Certified Network Associate and Network Professional, Advanced Diploma in Software Development, Diploma in Multimedia, Graphic Design and Digital Marketing, Diploma in Database Administration and Technical Support. Whether you're starting your IT journey or looking to advance your career, our expert instructors and hands-on learning will prepare you for success. Don't wait. Enroll today and transform your future. Call us at 701968 or 3464161 or visit us at 55 Kairaba Avenue, adjacent to the U.S. Embassy, Fajara, Kanifing Municipality. Learn more at www.ihtgambia.gm. IIHT Gambia Limited, connecting talent to opportunity.
Q Money and Orange Money has just made money transfer easier. Now you can send money from Gambia to Senegal directly from your Q Money wallet. So what are you waiting for? Get your Q Money account now and start sending money to your friends and families through Orange Money in Senegal now. For more information, call our customer care on 133. Q Money, Sunu Kalpe. Terms and conditions apply.
Welcome to the future of transportation in the Gambia. The Bertel-Harding Highway, a 22-kilometer double carriageway, is set to revolutionize travel and connectivity in our beloved country. The Bertel-Harding Highway is transforming transportation in the Gambia with new roundabouts and vehicular overpasses. But safety must come first. Standing along the road or at roundabouts to flag down taxis creates unsafe conditions and unnecessary traffic jams. Remember, always board taxis at designated taxi garages or the garas located at major traffic points. Drivers stopping in no stopping zones will be penalized. Let's keep our roads clear and safe. Together, we can ensure a safe and efficient journey for all.
Welcome back, and this is QTV News. The Commissioner General Yankuba Dabo on Wednesday called on tax administrations in West Africa to invest more in enhancing the capacity of human resource managers in customs departments to help institute digitalized transformation of tax systems in their respective countries. He was speaking at the opening of the 12th meeting of training of human resource managers. Ansumane Sonyasi tells us more.
This forum aims to leverage the opportunities presented by technology in providing increased efficiency within customs administrations through automated processes. The theme for this year's convergence is the regional strategy for human resources management in the context of digitalization and the implementation of forward planning of workforce, jobs and skills. This meeting comes as tax authorities across the world, particularly in West Africa, are embracing technology through digitalized systems to help improve compliance and transparency in revenue collection. The Commissioner General Yankuba Dabo underscores the importance of capacity building, especially for tax administrators such as HR managers in charge of instituting policy direction. He advocates for more investment in technology, arguing that it is the way forward for increased efficiency in the delivery of tax services.
It is evident that the greatest resources of our administration is our workforce. Human resources are the lifeblood of any organization. Therefore, their competence, commitment, motivation drive productivity and ultimately success. The Gambia Revenue Authority has recognized the importance of investing its workforce through our commitment to training, development, employment, well-being, employee well-being. We have cultivated a competent, motivated, and taxpayer-focused team.
CG Dabo also invites participants to review the regional tax strategic plan, data and technology policy during the training, adding that there is a growing need to integrate technology across all tax administration systems in West Africa.
The digital transformation of human resources is no longer a luxury, but a necessity. By leveraging technology, we can enhance efficiency, improve employee experience, and better meet the evolving needs of our organizations. I am confident that through our discussions and collaboration, we will be able to develop actionable recommendations that will contribute to the development of a more competent, committed, and motivated workforce across the region.
Alaji Jallo, Director of Tax and Policy at the Ministry of Finance, underscores the need to equip human resource officers within customs management and went on to add that this is essential in responding to demands of today's highly digitalized tax administration systems around the world.
First, understanding the tax laws in each country is vital to ensuring that the businesses remain compliant, but also human resource within the custom administration must be equipped to navigate the complex, growing environment of international trade and also cross-border activities.
Other speakers, including Abdel Kadir Sango, Director of WCO Office, commended the Gambia government, particularly GRA, for its ongoing digitalization efforts, describing it as a leading tax administration within the region. The digitalization of tax systems helps save time, reduces tax evasion, and ensures easy access to services. It is hoped that at the end of this 3-day training, participants will develop recommendations to reinforce ongoing tax digitalization efforts in the region. Answane Sonyasi for KTV News.
Farmers play a key role in the Gambia's economy as providers of food. In this regard, farmers in the Central River region are busy weeding their crops, preventing animal nutrition and pest infestation for better yield. Our regional correspondent Bakari Balde engaged some of them, and here is his report.
As the crops approach harvesting, many farmers in this part of the country spend most of their time in their farms. The main crops grown in LRR arcus, groundnuts, and maize. Ibrahim Kamara says he inherited farming from his parents, cultivating a 3-hectare groundnut farm and a 1-hectare maize farm. He says the season looks promising and made this suggestion.
Many people complained about fertilizer because it always comes late. Farmers prefer to have it on time and use it when necessary. I urge the government and agriculture ministry to loan fertilizers to farmers at the beginning of the rainy season, and they can pay after the farming season. We also want the government to provide us with tractors and training to carry out our work effectively.
Abdullah Dahaba, a young farmer, says he is a bit behind because his horse went missing at the beginning of the rainy season, and he later found it after a rigorous search. He outlined that farming is the only way to eradicate poverty and be self-sufficient. He has this message for his fellow youths.
Farming has enormous benefits. I want the youths to venture into farming. The president alone cannot do it. The youths take the risks of traveling through the so-called back way, but I believe we should work and help each other here. If we all step back, the country will not have developed. I want all of us to come out and work, because no matter how long it takes, the government will help us.
Adama Sankare from Badibu, who moved to Jara, and Fadua Keta, a groundnut and coast farmer, highlight the involvement of youths into farming and further pleaded for government support.
Farming has a lot of rewards. If you grow crops, many animals will eat and benefit from it, which will be a reward for the one who grows it. I am appealing to the government to help us with farming equipment because some people don't want to farm due to inadequate materials. I am appealing to the government that this year, let them pay farmers immediately we take our groundnuts to the selling points. Also, authorities should support us with farming equipment and provide fertilizer and on time, so that we can carry out our farming activities successfully.
Despite facing some challenges, the farmers we spoke to are anticipating a bumper harvest if the rains continue their present pattern. Bakari Balde, QTV News.
We will now take a look at news away from home. This week marked the first anniversary of the Alliance of Sahel States, or AES, a regional bloc uniting Burkina Faso, Mali and Niger. It was established by the leaders of these three junta-led nations who were all facing condemnation and sanctions by ECOWAS. We take a closer look at the achievements and ambitions of this strategic alliance. More in this report.
When the three countries announced that they were breaking away from regional bloc ECOWAS, it is doubtful that many took their threat seriously. However, 1 year ago, with the historic signing of the Liptako-Gourma Charter, Burkina Faso, Mali and Niger officially formed the Alliance of Sahel States. The leaders of these three nations, Captain Ibrahim Traoré of Burkina Faso, Colonel Assimi Goïta of Mali, and General Abdurrahman Tiani of Niger, said they were uniting under a common vision, namely to confront the escalating terrorist threat and to reorganize their collective defense strategies. The alliance's formation was also in part a response to the threat of military intervention by the Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS, following the ousting of Niger's President Mohamed Bazoum in July of last year. By standing together, Burkina Faso, Mali and Niger say they are sending a powerful message of solidarity and resistance to external pressures. Having been sanctioned by regional body ECOWAS, the three countries claim that only through unity and cooperation can they effectively combat terrorism and the violence that plagues their shared borders. For those doubting their seriousness, Sunday, September 15th, saw the alliance announce the launch of a common passport and the future creation of a common currency. They say these steps are intended to facilitate the free movement of people and goods, enhance economic integration, and strengthen security cooperation among their member states. Beyond its security objectives, the alliance seems rooted in a pan-Africanist and anti-colonialist perspective, promoting the political independence, human dignity, and economic emancipation of its people. In a direct challenge to ECOWAS, the alliance partners say the Charter remains open to other states in the region that share similar geopolitical and socio-cultural realities or who are willing to embrace the alliance's objectives. In a televised broadcast on Sunday, on the eve of the first anniversary, Mali's leader, Assimi Goïta, set out what he describes as the successes of the alliance. Among other things, it showed video of aerial bombardment of what are described as terrorist positions and the dismantling of criminal networks by alliance forces, as well as images of civilians celebrating the alliance at indoor and outdoor events. Similar images were carried by RTN, the official Niger broadcaster. However, the years since the signing of the accord between these three states has not been one of unchallenged successes. Specifically, the restoration of stability and security to the region, given as a main reason for their respective coups d'etats, has simply not happened. Quite the opposite. There have been increased and more audacious attacks by jihadists in all three alliance countries. As if to make such a point, one of the most daring was an armed attack on a school in the Malian capital Bamako on the very day of the first anniversary. As the alliance marks this milestone, its members have reaffirmed their commitment to overcoming the challenges they face together. However, it remains to be seen how sustainable their ambitious plans are and whether their departure from ECOWAS is a permanent one. For QTV News, I am Ade Darami.
That's all we have for you in this bulletin. Join us at 10 p.m. for another bulletin. Thanks for watching.